1, 2.
Hello out there in YouTube land, Rival here. Thanks for stopping by. I have a long promised and overdue overview of this 4Sevens Brian Fellhoelter+4Sevens+Tuff writer collaboration. So I admittedly knew pretty much nothing about this until earlier this month. I literally stumbled upon it on Instagram. I follow Brian Fellhoelter, and he posted on, I want to say like December 2nd or 3rd, that he had gotten a batch of these in and was selling them. So I went to his site. They had sold out within like an hour. So I did some research online and found out that Tuff Writer had also had a batch, and I was able to pick this one up. So these things, let's see, they were, I think there was a batch that had apparently originally gone out at G6 for the USN gathering, and as you can see, it's a Fellhoelter collaboration, like we said, Tuff Writer and 4Sevens. So it uses a lot of common 4Sevens functionality and features, incorporates the bolt action from the Fellhoelter pen, the tie bolt pen, and that's where the Tuff Writer comes into play as well. So pretty freaking sweet overall. You know, just to give you a couple of brief specs, because I was unfamiliar with it completely. So it's 5.8 inches overall. It has a Cree CR2, what is it, hold on, Cree XM-L2. It takes CR2 batteries. So I've never used those before. That's kind of new for me. I actually stick to lights that normally have like AA's or AAA's. You know, my theory on that kind of stuff is that if I'm having it and I need to reuse or re-up on batteries or recharge, you know, funky batteries are going to be hard to come by. Whereas you're going to be more likely to stumble across or come across AA's, AAA's. I can get them all over the place, readily available, and the lights serve their functions for the most part. I don't need, you know, 500 lumens on the regular. That being said, I've had this in my pocket for a while, which maxes out at 480 lumens, and it's pretty freaking nice. So I'll start getting into my experiences, because I've had it for a month, which is why I've been wanting to hold off on this. I am, you know, admittedly not a huge flashlight guy, but I do carry a flashlight every single day. Normally, one of these two. I've got a Thai Preon 2, and I've got my EagleTac D25A 2. This carries double A's, this carries triple A's. They both max out at 180 lumens, clicky, twisty. I did overviews on these if you look back like a year or so in the channel history, but for comparisons purposes, I think they're pretty relevant, because I think they're pretty common lights or things that people have at least seen, held, handled, that kind of thing. So to give you an idea of how long that light is, it's really not that much longer than a Preon 2 or my EagleTac, and for that matter, the width or the diameter, it's almost identical. This one is just a hair wider than this one, so it's not a bad carry in the pocket at all. The pocket clip's really well designed, slides in and out of the pocket easily. I carry mine in my left front pocket, so even the little nub there just tucks right into the corner of the pocket, secures it in there. Not much of the light sticks out, so it carries really, really well. So let's talk about the function and performance. So I am a fan of starting your lights on a low setting, low, medium, high. I don't like it when they come on high right off the bat. That being said, this one cycles, it starts at low, which is like 200 lumens. Then it goes to high, which is the 480 lumens. Then it goes to strobe. And then if you cycle through that twice, then you get moonlight, which is really freaking weird, because moonlight is probably the most handy and common setting that a lot of people are going to be using. This moonlight, for that matter, is 1 lumen. So that's a really nice low light kind of deal. You know, if I'm stumbling across my house, or if I'm, you know, walking around in the dark somewhere, lumen's usually about all I need to generally find my way without, you know, alerting the entire neighborhood I'm coming. If I want those higher modes, I like to personally be able to cycle through them. So this one's starting off at almost 200 lumens. Not a huge fan of it, but it does have a feature that I normally hate, which compensates for it, and that feature is memory. I'm not a huge fan of memory. I like my light to always start on low, then go to medium, then go to high. Both the lights that I normally carry do that. That way I always know where I'm cycling. If I want high, I got 3 clicks. I don't have to think too much about it. Memory is a feature where the setting that you leave it off on, if you had it on that setting for more than 3 seconds, it'll stay on that setting. So if I, cycle all the way through to moonlight, and I use moonlight for 5 minutes, and I turn the light off, when I turn it back on again, it's going to be on moonlight. That's great. Except for this kind of light, you tend to play with it a lot, and you click it a lot, and it's a novelty, and that's one of the reasons you got it, is to play with it. And then I fudge my settings all up, and I turn it back on again because I'm not thinking about it, and it's on ultra bright. Not a big deal. It's a really minor complaint overall. I can live with it. Like I said, the memory feature, if I'm really thinking about it, or if I'm cycling through, or if I'm using it on high one night, 9 times out of 10 I cycle through to moonlight, leave it on for a couple seconds, and turn it off so that the next time I go to use it, I don't have to think about it. It's always on that low setting. So that's just me. Everybody's mileage may vary on that one. The beam and everything, it's a really cool white color. So I like the cool white beams. I don't like colored beams. I don't like yellow beams. It's got a pretty wide throw on it. The center of the beam is nice and tight, but it illuminates a room. To give you an idea, especially when it's on high, when it's on that 490. This Preon has a really concentrated beam, which I really like. It's not a bad thing. It's just something to know that it's got a wide throw on it. It does have a nice central beam on there, but like I said, it'll light up a room on high. The details and everything on this knife are fantastic. It's got the same milling patterns as a tie bolt, as the dress version of the tie bolt. Kind of a nice common Fellhoelter feature. And then a good look at that bolt action. So just kind of sliding it down and over, turns it on, spring loaded. So normally, you don't have to worry too much about lights like these, which are totally sealed. Getting a little water on them, even Preons. I mean, you can throw them in the bottom of a bucket for a while and not have to worry about it. I did write 4Sevens to ask if they had any details or information on how much water this could take, and they just wrote me back and said we wouldn't recommend getting it wet, but it can handle some weather. Don't worry about that. Thought that was an interesting response. It wasn't really like, can I dive in the ocean with it? I just said, I know all of your other lights can generally be submerged for an extensive period of time. Can you tell me, is there any restrictions with that? Is the bolt mechanism sealed? So I'm assuming that the bolt mechanism is sealed, prior to the battery case. So probably around here somewhere. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to really talk about this. It's freaking awesome. If you can find one in stock, if lights are something that you dig, I would definitely recommend getting one. The novelty, it's actually quite useful. My daughter is 4, and she always plays with my flashlights, and she got the hang of this thing pretty quickly. It was actually pretty funny watching her playing with it, trying to figure it out. But the mechanism itself, I mean, it looks like a novelty at first, but it's pretty darn useful. You don't have to worry about, my clicky Preon. If I don't have the head unscrewed a little bit, and this thing gets bumped, it clicks on, it's on in your pocket, it's on for 20 minutes before you realize it. All of a sudden you realize your pocket's freaking really warm. Not a cool thing to have to deal with. And this light, I love this light, but it's not a clicky light, so you got to twist it, so it is a two-hand operation. So the one-hand operation of this and the simplicity of being able to lock it down and then unlock it when you want is really freaking handy. It lends itself really well to the function of the light. So all in all, I'm happy. I generally like 4Sevens products to begin with. Fellhoelter's really good name in the knife making industry, and the tie bolt pens. I'd love to get my hands on one. Haven't been able to yet. And then Tough Riders, I mean, they've got a great reputation for being great quality products. So really happy to have gotten my hands on this. This is definitely in my EDC rotation. Quite frankly, I haven't carried either one of these guys since. I'm sure I will at some point, but I think this is actually going to go either in the car or you know, in a bag somewhere. This one's probably going to go to the wife because I'm pretty satisfied with this. So yeah, if you get your hands on one, I definitely recommend buying one. That's what I've got for you today. Thanks for stopping by. Like and subscribe, and yeah, have a good night. Peace.